Farmer who waited for rain, he never planted. The man who feared failure never built anything. The sailor who waited for calm seas stayed on shore. The writer chasing perfection never wrote a word. The heart that feared pain never found love. You see the pattern? Waiting kills progress. Those who win in life, they start, even if it's messy, scary, and uncertain.
Get ready for the real talk, the grind, and the hustle. You're tuned into Nothing But Up, the podcast. Season 3, with your host,
Jamir.
Welcome to the podcast. It's Jamir Angelo, your host for Nothing But Up, the podcast. And I'm coming to you live from my simple home office here in the province of South Cotabato. This episode is presented to you by Funnel Expert PH, enabling business coaches, entrepreneurs, and real estate clients to scale their businesses through sales funnels. Visit our site at funnelexpertph.com to book a free consultation call. And also presented to you by White Coat, the content creation house, crafting content for the world's most famous brands, organizations, and high-profile public figures, with offices in the UK and Singapore. Visit their site at whitecoat.tv to book a free discovery call. Now, you're tuned in today to Season 3, Episode 11, and we're back at it again with another episode that hopefully should inspire you and you'd be able to get some nuggets from. So, this is the first episode of 2026, guys. So, before we go anywhere, before we talk about business, growth, discipline, execution, or funnels, I want to say this clearly. Happy New Year to you. And I really appreciate you for hanging out with me for the rest of the 3 seasons. For I think about 70 or 80 episodes in total since we started. And thank you so much for being here. I pray that this year stretches you. I pray that this challenges you. I also pray it forces you to grow into the version of yourself you've been avoiding. Because you see, if there's one truth I've learned personally, professionally, and even spiritually, it's this. Waiting doesn't protect you. It doesn't save you. Waiting doesn't prepare you, even. And as a matter of fact, waiting kills progress. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. This episode is titled, Waiting Kills Progress. It's not fear, not failure, not lack of resources. It is waiting. So just try to take a quick break with me for a second. Hang out with me for a few minutes. Because you see, this episode is not entertainment. This episode is a wake-up call for you. Now, let me tell you a few short stories right here. I mean, as you've seen the very first, intro video, start of this podcast episode, it says, a farmer who feared failure, a farmer who waited for rain, he never planted. A man who feared failure never built anything. A sailor who waited for calm seas stayed on shore. A writer chasing perfection never wrote a single word. A heart that feared pain never found love. So, guys, do you see the pattern? Waiting looks responsible, yes. Waiting feels safe. Waiting sounds logical at some point. But waiting is the silent killer of momentum. And the people who win in life, they don't wait to feel ready. They don't wait for clarity. And a matter of fact, they don't wait for confidence to build. They just simply start. Even when it's messy, even when it's so scary, even when it's uncertain. And I don't know about you, but if you've heard about Tony Robbins, he says it best. The quality of your life is the quality of your decision. And here's the cool part most people miss. Most people don't make bad decisions. They just don't decide at all. So I really need you to reflect on that for a little bit. And speaking of reflection, I had really, a great one. I mean, for the holiday season. So this holiday season, forced me to slow down a little bit. I went home. I went back to Cebu, originally where I'm from, and every time I go home, life has a way of reminding me what actually really matters. So I spend time with all 7 of my kids. And if you're a parent listening to this podcast episode, when you're with your children, nothing else matters. If you're someone running business or working, deadlines fade, stress fades, ego fades. And I also spend time with my grandson, VJ, watching life continue forward right in front of me. I also sat down with my mom, just talking about life purely. Not business, not money, just life. Time, choices, how fast everything moves when you're not paying attention. And cool thing also is that I've laughed with my sister and brother, Faye and Mark, having to do silly jokes that only the 3 of us understand. The kind of jokes that instantly take you back to who you were before the world told you who you needed to be. And of course, I spent intentional time with my partner, my wife, Macy. Just no noise, no rush, just presence, living in the moment. And we enjoyed Christmas the way it's supposed to be enjoyed. And that is with gratitude. Then we headed home back here in South Cotabato to welcome the new year. And somewhere in all that stillness, one truth hit me hard. Life does not wait. Time doesn't pause. And the longer you wait, the more expensive waiting becomes. Now, here's the truth, guys. People don't wait because they're lazy. They wait because they're overwhelmed. Overwhelmed by a few good things. The size of their vision, the amount of work required that they need to put in, the skills they think they still lack or probably feels that's missing. And overwhelm disguises itself as preparation. But let me say this clearly, guys. Overwhelm is fear wearing a productivity costume. Because fear loves delay. Fear loves someday. Fear loves when I'm ready. And fear has ruined more lives than failure ever will. And let me give you a real example here, because I guess this happened maybe a couple months ago. So I had a client book a call with me. He sounded ready. And we're talking about, having to work with us for a pretty huge project. And as what I've said, he sounded ready, sounded confident, really motivated. He has a very big vision. He talked about massive action, but once we broke things down, from the funnels, offers, the courses he has to make, social media, online presence, positioning, authority, reality hit. This wasn't just funnels. This was his entire business identity. And suddenly he froze. Not because it was impossible, but because it was real. And instead of starting imperfectly, he backed off. He postponed. He caused delays. He waited. And not because he couldn't do it, but fear convinced him to stop. And it's what I've been preaching. Waiting killed his momentum. And that's the saddest part about it, guys. And here's another one. So, I think a few years back, I worked with a business coach, a brilliant one, experienced, so passionate about her craft. But she kept saying, I just need one more certification. And I was like, what's that certification about? One more course, one more credential to bump her up a bit. And meanwhile, people needed her now. I mean, now at that same moment. But the saddest part was she waited. And someone else served her audience. And surprisingly, that someone came to me and I built funnels for her. Same exact niche, same exact offer, same exact, offer stacks in place. And it was really sad that she wasn't able to make the decision right away because she felt that she needed to wait for her certification. Not better, just sooner. And it ended up, that other client that I did work with was able to, control, and she was able to handle the business that she was meaning to serve. And that was really sad upon knowing. But it did have, the courtesy of letting her know about the situation. Because again, at the end of the day, I'm not tied up with any contract with that client. It's a different business vertical she has. And then when that inquiry happened, and then I responded into it, went on a call, checked out the forms, the answer to the forms that she submitted online. And I was like, this is exactly the same persona she intends to serve. And I was amazed how, that niche literally was a gold mine for the other client that took the action. So it's really something that you guys need to think about. And this one, another agency owner. This is for digital marketing. So another client, another agency owner, he said, I'll go all in once I build a team. But here's the truth. You don't build teams without revenue. You don't scale without selling. Waiting cost him 2 years. 2 fucking years. Right? And it was a very expensive non-decision he made because of doing so. And I also had this one content creator, and she told me, I'll post when I feel confident. And I was like, confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence comes from action. But the saddest part, again, she waited and the algorithm didn't. Entrepreneurs waiting for support. So this one entrepreneur told me, I just want my family to support me first. The support comes after results, guys, not before. But again, the sad part, he waited, and that dream stayed a dream. And I can even cite an example about me. And let me be real with you real quick here. When I started Funlaxer PH, I didn't have everything figured out. I didn't know everything. I didn't have perfect systems. I moved, but I built while learning. I fixed while executing. I grew while serving. And momentum answered courage, right? And now, looking at 2026, we are not waiting, guys. We're expanding, we're opening bigger operations, we're building stronger systems, we're raising our standards, not because it's comfortable, but because we're waiting is no longer an option. Momentum rewards action. So let me ask you something, guys. Why are you still waiting? What decisions are you delaying? What action are you afraid to take? So name it, because clarity follows commitment, and action cures fear. So the farmer who planted before the rain harvested. The builder who risked failure built legacy. Now, the sailor who sailed away discovered new lands. The writer who wrote imperfectly found their voice. The heart that risked pain found love. Waiting kills progress, and action builds life. That is something that you really need to think about. Because we don't wait. We move, we build, we rise. And I want you to be in a position that you would be able to really get to understand and really get to, think that when you delay something, it's going to be a very pretty expensive decision that you are going to be making, because you are risking of, uncovering what you are really made of. And you owe it to yourself. And come this year, 2026, you gotta need to ditch that shit up, man. I mean, you've got to take actions, regardless if it scares you a whole lot, if it, drives you crazy even more. But again, at the end of the day, you tried and you wanted to make a difference. And waiting doesn't help you at any sort. But when you make an action, you make a decision, that's when you'd be able to finally understand that at least you made that conscious decision that you can and you will. And that's a wrap for today's episode. Remember, no matter what challenges you may face, there's always a way to rise above and keep moving forward. With the right mindset and determination, nothing can hold you back. Nothing but up, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more inspiring conversations like this. Listen to us on Spotify and on YouTube. This is Jamir Angelo, the founder of Funnel Expert PH, and this is Nothing But Up, the podcast. Peace, y'all.
Nothing But Up, the podcast season 3. This episode is brought to you by Funnel Expert PH, the world's leader in sales funnels and automations. Visit funnelexpertph.com to learn more. And also presented to you by White Coat, the content creation house, crafting content for the world's most famous brands, organizations, and high-profile public figures. Visit their website to learn more. See you on our next episode. Peace, y'all.